Ben Roethlisberger has been under fire the past couple of seasons for his leadership skills, but the 16-year vet defended himself this week. Both Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell took shots at Ben's leadership after they left Pittsburgh. So USA Today asked Big Ben about this issue, and he said, "No one likes to be talked about, but honestly, they're gone. So I can't concern myself with what people outside this locker room are saying. The thing about being a leader, and I'd like to think I'm a good leader, I've been doing it a long time, is that leadership is about winning football games. That should speak for itself." We are joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings this morning. Good to have you here.
Morning. Good to be
Shannon, though, I'm going to start with you. Do you agree with Ben?
Hell no. Just because you win doesn't make you a great leader. If Ben thinks that's really what it's about, that you just won games, I'm a great leader now. Oh, Ben, you know better than this. And everybody talks about, well, you know, he's on the Super Bowl team, but was he really the leader? When you go back to that first Super Bowl, they had Hines Ward, Bus Bettis, Joey Porter, Alan Faneca.
Randall L.
Yeah, as Ben and as these guys moved on, you saw Ben and you noticed they hadn't won since. You noticed that, Skip? And the thing is, oh, I know one likes to be talked about, but those guys are gone. It's like it was all those guys' fault. Could AB have handled things better? Sure. I don't really know what they want. Why are you blaming Le'Veon? He was a holdout. He didn't come back. So what were you mad at him? He didn't want to play under the franchise tag. He didn't want you to put another 400 touches on his body at that salary. And they still mad at him for some reason. He wasn't there. Nobody said a thing. They got up to, I think they got up to 7-2. Nobody mentioned Le'Veon Bell. But the moment they started losing, oh, it's Le'Veon's fault. That whole, it was a distraction. You weren't distracted when you were winning. But now all of a sudden you started losing. That's what Ben doesn't get, Skip. It's not winning. Yes, winning helps. But winning will not mask everything. And if you don't have great leadership, you see what happens when you didn't win, Ben? Boom! I guess you weren't the leader you thought you were. Because that's not your forte, Ben. It's not. And I've talked to too many guys in there. He just doesn't get it. Let them tell him, you know, he can criticize players openly. Been on a lot of teams. Won a lot of games, Skip Bayless. I've never, ever had in 14 years of playing a player, the quarterback, not just the player, the quarterback openly and publicly criticize another player. If he thinks that's great leadership because he's won a couple of Super Bowls, therein lies the problem.
I agree 100% with everything you said. For me, one of the statements that sticks out immediately is winning. Leadership is about winning. So then my question becomes, well, what happens when you don't win? How do you lead when you don't win? Because that's what you're alluding to. They started out 7-2, then they start losing. Where is the leadership? That's when I need to see it the most. When things aren't going my way or our way, who's gonna step up? Who can I look into their eyes and see the confidence and see their reaction to where we are, adverse situations, and they say we're good? And I can believe it because my eyes tell me, you really believe what you're telling me. That's what Ben Roethlisberger has to do. Now, has he done that in his career? Of course. I truly believe he's done that. Can he do it again? Yes. I think that without these guys, and I'm not going to say these guys, I'm going to just say Antonio Brown. Without Antonio Brown now in that locker room, another alpha male, another guy who's taken a lot of the attention away from Ben Roethlisberger, and the pressure off of him because of the plays that he's able to make, now you have this team under your leadership solely, pretty much. It's up to you to make the change. And for me, I'm not sure if he can do it because it goes beyond just Antonio Brown. When I listen to a coach, a head coach, give instruction or say a thing, and then your leader comes out and does an opposite thing, or he's counterproductive by what he's saying in the media, that's not leadership. That's not leadership. That's putting everything on yourself and putting yourself in front of the team. There was a play, the last thing, there was a play 2 years ago, Skip, against the New England Patriots. It was second down. They're yelling, we have no more timeouts. We're not going to clock it. Ben Roethlisberger, I have no problem with what he said after the game, with the exception of one thing. He said he ended up throwing an interception on 3rd down. Because he didn't clock it, in his mind he said, you know what, they were yelling from the sideline, don't clock it. I wanted to clock it, but I didn't. Okay, you now have made the decision as a leader on what we're going to do. Just own it. When you don't own it, everyone looks like, well, we can pass the buck, we can point the finger. That's my issue with Ben Roethlisberger.
I'm about to defend Ben Roethlisberger against both of you because he is my early pick to be the MVP this year and have a big bounce-back season, and his team is still a little better than the Cleveland Browns, so I'm picking them to win that division and to be the surprise team beyond the Cleveland Browns. All I know is for sure that in all my years of covering this league, I have never seen a quarterback get a team to a Super Bowl who was disruptive or divisive at that position. So I don't think Ben was ever disruptive or divisive as in the leadership position on the football field. I think you guys are condemning him in ways he does not deserve because there's truth in what he said. If you get to 3 Super Bowls and you win 2 of them, lost 1 to you, you have to have some leadership skill in you. You have to have some, by example, leadership, charisma, even in your body language. And I do think he's a big game, big play player, and always has been. Again, he got faced with 2 me-first social media me-ism players in Antonio and Le'Veon. They became social media victims, both of them. As it rose, they rose with it, and they lost all perspective on how they should act within the confines of a pro football team, and he had to deal with the fallout of that.
He a me first guy too.
Okay, but he's not a social media.
No, he's not on social media, but he's a me first guy.
Doesn't make it any better.
Okay, but quarterbacks are almost always me first guys, unless it's the one you won a Super Bowl with in Baltimore, because he was lucky to go along for the ride. But the stars, the high picks, they're all me guys because it goes with the territory. It's just who they are. Aaron Rodgers is the ultimate me guy and the ultimate finger pointer, sometimes in a good way because that receiver, not you, but some receiver might deserve to get called out publicly by Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Okay, well, I don't love it, but every once in a while, I've been around so many quarterbacks all the way back to Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach. They called out people publicly when they deserved it. LeBron James has called out his teammates publicly when they deserved it, right?
But look, and I'm not going to look. I didn't play with everybody, but I played with a Hall of Famer. And I could imagine, can you imagine if Antonio Brown runs the shallow cross. At the back of the end zone, he throws the interception in Denver. You threw the interception. Now, the first thing out your mouth, don't come out and tell the media, well, Antonio Brown cut that route short. Okay, if he runs the route short, don't you exacerbate the situation by throwing him the ball. James Washington dropped the crucial 3rd down. Leaders don't go publicly and say, he got to make that catch. James Washington need to make that catch. That's not what leaders do, Skip Bayless. Me and Ben would have had a problem because the first, I'm going to give you the first one. The first was on me. I'm going to take that one. You call me out again, publicly, I'm going to punch you in your face.
Yeah, okay, is Aaron Rodgers a better leader than Ben has been?
We ain't talking about Aaron Rodgers. We talking about Ben. We talking about Ben Rodgers.
No comment on that.
We ain't talking about.
You did validation.
So
You did, because they are different. Their situations are different. Their circumstances are different. Is Ben a better leader than Tom Brady?
No.
Okay,
Tom Brady's the greatest leader in the history of the NFL.
Do you want to know why? Because he always talks and refers to the team as we. We. I don't care whether it's LeBron James or Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger. Tom Brady understands if we're going to do this and do it all the time consistently, I can't put myself out front. Everybody's going to do that already. Yeah. They're going to do that. My play is going to afford them the right to do that.
And what did he say? Oh, nobody likes to be talked about, but they're not here now. But that's a leader. That's your leader. Okay.
So you just defended Tom Brady? You just said a good thing? You just agreed with Greg? Yeah, he's a great leader.
Yeah, I've never said Tom wasn't a great leader.
Interesting. out of both sides of mouth.
No, Skip. No.
It's his style of leadership.
No, exactly.
Sometimes.
Ben is trying to equate, as long as I win, that makes me a great leader. And that's not true. Leadership comes through adversity. Hell, anybody can lead. If you're doing well, how hard is it to keep a self-driving car in the middle of the road? It's when that malfunction happens and you actually have to take the wheel. When things started going haywire, they 7-2, Skip. When things started to go off the curve. Remember, this started, Skip. Remember in Chicago. Nobody was going to come out for the anthem, Skip. Nobody. We talked about it the night before. James Harrison said, we talked about it the night before. Nobody. And next thing you know, well, I need to see the flag. And the coaches, I need to be on the sideline. Well, the leader, Ben Roethlisberger, is supposed to say, look, guys, this is what we talked about. This is what we discussed. This is what we're going to do. But no.
Sometimes in these situations, the head coach assumes the majority of the leadership. And in this case, this head coach has not done that. He has stood by and watched all this go south, right?
Yeah,
and he just got a contract.
He's created the culture.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Definitely created the culture.
Okay, because he's the ultimate player's coach. And I do love Mike Tomlin, and I've always said, if I played, I'd want to play for that guy. But maybe that's what's wrong is he's just too easy to play for.
He's given the players too much leeway. Antonio Brown, I'm sorry, AB, you can't play. You do that, you're going to go live? Think about it, Skip. You go live. I'm surprised the NFL didn't step in.
On Facebook.
On Facebook Live when we do it right after the game. They don't normally let anybody in there except the team. You know, the team have the team have a local TV station that comes in right during when he getting the prayer and Mike's saying something. But for Antonio Brown to do that and for Ben to openly and publicly criticize players, they've allowed this. People will do what you allow them to do. You should have nipped that in the bud.
Okay.
But like I said, you had one time to call me out because I first was on me. I was like, okay. And Ben, don't do that again now.
Antonio will miss Ben sometime during this year. He'll wake up and sit back.
You don't think Ben's going to miss him, huh?
Okay, well, maybe. But I'm just saying the quarterback's more important than the receiver to me because it's a harder position to play.
Oh,
and you're going to be in Oakland with Derek Carr, and you're going to say, God, I can't. Ben was really good.
Yeah.
Because he's really good.
Skip, I've never said anything about his ability. The only thing I've questioned is his leadership.
Is he a natural-born leader? No, he is not. Can you suddenly flip the switch at age 37 and take a bunch of receivers on a little vacation to where rural Georgia somewhere? Was it on the coast or somewhere?
Greensboro, Georgia, Reynolds Plantation.
Okay. Does that work? No, probably won't work. But
it's a start.
Is he trying? Is he? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Step in the right direction.
Yes.
But now it's how they perform on the field and what we see from him.
Yeah, we're going to see.
To watch. I know Skip's
we're going to see who he calls out now. Because Le'Veon's not there. AB's not there. Who get called out there?
I hope he calls you out today. I would love that. That would be leadership.
Why you want to call the media? Why do you want to call the media guy out?
Yeah, because you're taking shots.
When I play, man, you're not finna call me out publicly because I wouldn't call you. What? Look here. Hey, I'm going to get my respect one way or another. You can give it to me or I can take it. How we going to do it?
I love it.
Good to know. Greg, always nice to have you. Thank you for joining us today. Is Zeke still the best running back in football? We'll discuss next.
Oh,